Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Ascension Messages. My name is Bobbie, and I will be your guide for today. Today, I am going to channel some messages through from my team. My team consists of the Pleiadians, the Cyanians, the Arcturians, the Elementals, and Mother Earth is the usual ones that I will channel through. And we literally are like a galactic. We have galactic conversations within my head. Usually there's the Cyanians and the Pleiadians that will come together. The Arcturians will slip in every now and then. Um, yeah, they each have different feelings, and because I was a seer for so long, I can feel into the vibration, and I'm very highly empathic. I can feel into the vibration of who I'm actually channeling. Many of them have very similar messages, though, for humanity, obviously, at the moment, because humanity is going through such a huge change. And this is an evolutional process for humanity to learn to grow into something that where they're actually taking responsibility for their own sovereign self again, and that's going to change everything outside of us as well. Hey, Arnie, good to see you. Now, I am going to New York on the 17th of April for a month. I have a team over there that has got me over there, and just incredible people. Tim, thank you so much. Yin, thank you so much. Sky, who's on the chat bar, often comes. We have been working tirelessly at the moment to get these events together. So there's 3 events already up. It should have, the people that had said that they wanted to know beforehand should have got an email. I hope that you guys have already got an email. But in any case, it is up there now. I have it up on my website. So if you go to Codes to a New Reality, click in there, then you'll see New York 225. And there are 3 events so far. There's a 4th one coming, and Tim's also sussing out some more events as well while I'm over there. So that's really exciting. Now, the Bedford one, the Bedford Studios, it's only going to be a very small amount of people coming to those ones because it is literally a collective of specific souls coming together. My team has already told me, and there's 2 of them because they are small. Um, yeah, and we will be doing work together as well. I'll help ignite you even more and activate you even more into your missions, but we will be doing work. So it's really exciting. Yeah, you got an email, Arnie. Fantastic. Thank you, Tim. My team is just amazing. I am so blessed with them. So, and thank you so much for all that, everyone who donated as well to get me over there. It's the start of something big, and I'm not going to finish there. It's going to keep on going. I'm going to end up traveling around. I just know it. I think this is just part of a bigger mission that's coming up. More people, bigger mission, and getting a lot more messages out there from my team. My whole life has set me up for this, and I'm going to keep. Nothing will stop me. Um, Okay, so last night I actually got awoken to a message for April 2025. So that's not always what happens. And usually I will, take my Moldavite and just channel some messages through. But we'll start off with a message that I got woken up to last night, specifically for April. So I had this clarity moment as I was waking. I had a clarity moment of an absolute of knowing, um, a a feeling of making a choice, and I'm trying to describe this in a way that you guys can understand. It's like a different feeling, and it was an absolute, it was only fleeting, but it was like, a knowing of the choice, how to make an absolute choice. And then I got this message through saying that, we've been taught how to be the observer of our reality. So we are looking at our reality, but to be the observer, literally the watcher of the, say there's a movie that's playing on the TV. So the TV is the program that we've been caught in, and most of us are actually in the actual program of the TV. We're stuck in it. And we don't realize that we've got a say or anything like that. because we're controlled by mechanisms in that program. Like something will flash in our reality to say, look here, give you all your focus to this, and you do. And then when you give your focus to, you're given your whole reality to that, to making or fueling that reality, that focus. So you're sort of stuck in this program that's literally ground one matrix, the program, the TV. And then they show me the observer looking at it. So we've been taught to step out of that program and look at the program from through new eyes. See it for what it is. You know, we're not going to get entangled in it too much anymore. But every now and then, just like when you watch a program or you watch TV, you still do get that emotional entanglement. And as soon as you get a little bit of emotional or feeling entanglement into something, you are fueling that reality. That is the fuel. Your emotions, your feelings towards it, that sort of thing. That is the fuel. The focus is directing you towards it, and the emotions are fueling it in the end. So then you become part of that in that moment, and then you might see it play out in little bits outside of you. And you're like, I thought I cleared that, but then you keep on watching the program. This is literally, instead of watching, you could actually literally be watching too many programs that are bringing you into that, or it could be that you are just life itself. You are stuck in the program, and you're not being the observer completely. So this next phase that were telling me is you are going to learn to be the decider. And the decider was someone who they they literally showed me the person who was writing the program, or directing, that's it, directing the program. In April, there's an opportunity for those who have done the shadow work to really start directing their program. And it comes through as a clarity of will. And so you say, by my will, I will, this is it. Like will is I will, this is it. Like will is coming through source energy, God's source energy, that is your will. Like as the creator of your experience, and playing with that will, which is source energy. And I think this is the reason why they brought up the Cyanians, brought up the last, excuse me, the last message, which I recorded all about what Cyanians were saying, what God was about. Pleiadians and Cyanians came through about a message about God and what God was. And I think that they needed to do that because they're setting us up for April. Because when we become, or we accept that we are also source energy, prime creator, God, whatever you want to call it, the universe. I don't care what you call it. You can call it whatever you want, but you understand what I'm talking about when I say that. The whole, whatever. I'm only saying they only wanted to bring it up as God in in that video because it might help awaken, well, many more that are coming up the ranks who don't have such a spiritual concept, but they have a religious concept. So then at least it's an opening for them as well, because then they'll go, oh, well, I want to know what God is, but they don't know the word for source energy, and they don't understand what prime creator means and that sort of thing. Where the ones that are awoken, or nearly literally awoken to their divinity now and learning these lessons that I'm talking about, we have been more of a spiritual based people, so we do know what prime creator, source energy, and all that sort of thing is. That's the only reason. So don't get at me for saying God. Oh my gosh. We've got to get over these words, like really. The most important thing is feel into the vibration. When you feel into the vibration, you feel where people are coming from. Anyway, back to the actual message of accepting the part of you that is source energy, accepting the part of you that is the prime creator of your experience. There's only one person in charge of this, and this is you. Your soul, your consciousness is in charge of what you decide to entangle yourself into. And they really want to highlight that for April, because in April, there's this opportunity for you to become the decider of your life. And the will, your will is where source energy comes through. So when you will something, I absolutely know this 100%. This is going to happen. You can change quite a lot because the universe will reflect that. Excuse my voice. Always I go from zero to hero, right? Zero voice, not speaking in the morning, and then boom, speaking heaps in my throat. Because I was a singer for many, 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 many years. It just seems to seize up a little bit, so excuse that. Um, Probably a little bit of damage there, but it's not hindering me. Anyway, so the message that I woke up to last night was the feeling of utilizing this clarity of decision making in what I wanted to bring into my life and what I wanted to leave, including the program within my thought patterns. Uh, and I would focus on the thought pattern of I that you do have the will to shift and change your reality at any given moment uh, by making a very firm and clarity decision. Many people who make these decisions, athletes and that sort of thing, and people who are in power, they have made a firm decision and nothing else will change that. Um, we do have to realize in making those decisions, we also have to take responsibility for that. So these people who are we can literally teach you, people in power, people who are athletes, people who have actually made really strong decisions in their life and done the unbelievable. They can teach you that they have also, in that decision making, taken responsibility for their decision. They don't look for it outside themselves. They don't look for someone to agree with them. And this is where we look at those people and we go, wow, I really admire you. So, why would you feel like you admire someone who made a decision, even if you didn't agree with it? Because you can feel the will, you can feel the God source energy creating within them. And that makes a big difference, right? So, yeah, I really got to learn to have a hot drink before I actually start live, so I don't lose my voice so much. But yeah, so this is the profound message for April at the moment is to do with our understanding that we have a lot more scope. Now, they even went further than that. When I started to write it out, I thought I'll write it out quickly this morning before I lose it. But I was woken up in the middle of the night. And I said TV is the program you think you have to follow. The watcher is the observer of that program. But to step even further back, you'll become the director. And that's the decider, the one who knows they gave the reins to what they have the reins, sorry, they have the reins to what? Sorry, I just slipped on that. The one who knows they have the reins to what goes into their life and what gets cut out. And then they said you can go further back and you become the writer or the imagination, which is the creator. So deciding something is different than creating something. Like you deciding out of everything in the logical brain of what you know at this moment can actually be a choice of, decide from. A creator is using the imagination, something that hasn't been grounded yet. And so you could literally shift your reality to things that aren't accepted in this reality as the norm. In other words, this is where the magic comes in with I will be telepathic, I will be telekinetic, I will. Yeah, and all this magic will happen because you're using your imagination even though you don't see it outside of you, and nobody has taught you, but you are willing this understanding that this could happen because if it's in your imagination, it's an absolute possibility. And that's how magical humanity can become. And so you can will these things into being through becoming even further back than the director. You become the creator. Now you really need to know how to handle your imagination. So that they're telling me April is a good one for becoming the director of your reality, but there are these others that are going to be becoming in this humanity's consciousness, and it's going to awaken many to magic, literal magic on this planet in the end. We become more and more as we become further and further away from the program itself being in charge of us. We become source like, we become godlike, we become many gods. And that's one thing that the many years ago when I worked with the elder and over in Ohio, and she's living in Arizona. Yeah, many years ago, she would say, well, what is a kitten grow up to be? It grows up to be a cat. What is a dog? A puppy grow up to be? It grows up to be a dog. And then she said, what does God's creations grow up to be? They become gods. And this is how she used to explain it. We have the capacity because of the way our brain is set up to be able to be the observer and be able to understand further and further within ourselves, or if you want to look at it outside, go further and further out into the universe and the understanding of everything, macro and micro together. We end up becoming the understanding that we are not just this physical being, but we are also source energy. Our soul is part of God itself, fragmented off into onto it, going on a journey. Sorry, fragmented off, going on a journey. And that fragment is your divine path of what you've experienced as that soul fragment, which is always will always return back to the source of all things and can be shared with many and can be shared with the whole. And so, and that was brought up too in the channeling that I had of of God, source energy, prime creator from the Cyanians. Now, the Cyanians, if anyone doesn't understand them, because this is something that's pretty much for me, because I'm pretty sure they're Blu-ray beings of higher divinity of a Pleiadian council. It's just that, and they live very close to source energy, but they came to me in a dream, and they come to. I've been told their name and that sort of thing. So. They also told me in this dream many years ago, very vivid dream, that everything that this reality was going to fall. And so that the things that they were telling me then is actually starting to happen. I'm seeing the light through that light now, and they've been channeling with me. I've been told that I'll be working with them by the elder in a dream as well. The Cherokee elder came to me in a dream and told me I'll be working with them. So, and then she also said that our souls were very similar to that. Or that we were part of them in life gone by, and so I have a connection to them because I've actually been one of them in past life, um, and that's who she was sent by round the world to go find. Yeah, so in April, let's come back to April in 2025. We have this opening happening up for more clarity. Now I can talk till I'm blue in the face, right? And tell you guys all of this. But it's not until you absolutely feel it, you really understand it from the logical sense and the intuitive sense coming together and understanding this, that you will make headway with it. You can say, yeah, I'm the decider. But then you keep on worrying about things in this reality, and then all your fuel is going towards the worry, or all your fuel is going towards your relationships, and that sort of thing. You're not stepping back from it and saying, I, in this moment, decide where my thoughts are going, where my energy's flowing, what I will allow in my mind now and what I won't. I'm stepping up into more peace, because everybody on this planet might not believe it, but we are all seeking absolute peace of mind. It doesn't matter whether you're spiritual based or not. We're all seeking this peace of mind, because when we get that, we're in euphoria. We're in a euphoric kind of contents of living very harmoniously with clarity about who we are and where we are going. It's just because we're literally standing in our thoughts. This person has had a lot of screaming, monkey mind chatter, rah, 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 programming pulled over us. And it's literally like they're showing me a very sensitive person in a room full of people that are shouting their thoughts to them, and they are thinking that these people are them as well. And so to find peace of mind, many who aren't spiritual, who are very masculine, will do things like fast driving, going, surfing, because it brings them into a moment. And in that moment is clarity, because they can't think about all those other chitter chatters in their mind. They can't think of anything else. And so it brings them into a moment of clarity. And that is their God source energy. That's their feeling. That's the feeling of source energy. So there are moments in life that will give you that. But this whole game is to up-level humanity's consciousness into having that peace of mind all the time. So we're going through these layers. They're showing me like layers. And April is one of these layers, where March is prepping for April to be able to step into the understanding that you have always been the decider of your thoughts, that you're taking the reign of that, and the decider of where your energy goes, decider of all that. It's an inside job, because and then everything, when we're focusing on that inner work, the outer work will fall into place. It literally magnetized like glue coming. It sticks to you. They show me it sticks to you anyway. Everything else up till now has been a reflection of you just being in the program, or maybe being the observer of the program, but not really taking absolute. It's a like how can I explain this? I've definitely shifted a lot in my mind. I've shifted heaps, and I can flip from being miserable to being happy pretty quickly now. And I don't let things stick to me as in that respect. But last night, in that clarity, in the moment that I had the absolute of that decision making reign, that will, it shifted it was like an understanding. This is the feeling I need to get to shift everything in my life, to take absolute responsibility for everything in my life. It was I can't even describe. It's like absolute no self-doubt, no judgment, no nothing. It just, yeah, I wish I could like gift you guys the feeling. And it's another up leveling. So you might sit there and go, I know what she's talking about. I've been doing that anyway. I can probably say with absolute confidence, well, what I felt last night was beyond what I have felt. I felt it in very small increments. And it is I can't, it's like you wouldn't even sit in a position here in this life. If you had this ability, you would have created the dream-like reality that you wanted. Let's put it that way. You would be in the house that you love with whatever you want. You would have the company that you want. You would have everything that you desired. You'd be on your mission, whatever you have really, really, really wanted to have. That clarity that I felt last night for a very small moment was the thing to attain, to be able to have that in your life. So if you have everything in your life, absolute clarity, then you are there. But they are showing me as you're taking the reins to your will, to source energy, to God creator, to taking the reins, to the decisions that you're making. And you've got a very, very strong opportunity in April to be able to do that over this next couple of months even, or a month and a bit. There's something to do with just an opening. And it's not that you'll miss the boat, another opening will come up, but then it will go into a different feeling in June, July, where we're kind of settled again and reevaluating how far we've come, that sort of thing. So April is an opportunity. That's how I'm seeing it at the moment. Hey, everyone in the chat bar. Hey, Emma, Lakey33, Romali, good to see Jeannie. Yay. Yeah, so these things are as they are. Let me think. Anything else that's coming through for April as well? That was the most powerful thing that I felt. But just in general, please, any other messages that are coming through for April, for the ascension of humanity and those that are watching. If you feel confused with something, if you start to feel confusion and you feel like you're not really getting headway or anything, feel into the confusion, feel into it. Don't be afraid to feel into something more. You won't lose yourself now because you've come so far and you know how to step out anyway. They're telling me there's something to do with feel into the problem, because this is where you're going to find a core understanding of it. If you are surfacing issues now, you won't get very far. It'll keep on repeating. So the strength of you should, if you're listening to this now, should probably be in a position where you can know you can get yourself out if you feel deeper into something. That because you need to feel deeper into the issues to find the lack within yourself of why the confusion's happening, or you're not moving in your life, or something's not really working. When you feel into that and you have no fear, it will help so much. Yeah, it will help so much. Let's see what else is coming through. So yeah, not to be sitting in this um avoidant frequency. It needs to go. It's very yucky and it needs to go. And many people who are avoidants are very stuck. Literally, they're showing me someone putting a head in the sand and a tornado coming towards them. Like by now, those that I'm at least speaking to should have known to get their head out of the sand and look around so that they can sidestep, the tornado that's coming, or the anger or whatever it is that's coming. They can find a way around things. And that's by finding the central self of oneself and finding the happiness within the self. So, no more. I think there's going to be a massive shakeup for anyone who is an avoidant in the month of April. I feel that there's going to be that's happening. That's, I think, why they're bringing that up at the moment. Let me just tune in. Yeah. I mean, an avoidant will still try to avoid, but there's going to be a shakeup where they cannot not look at it anymore for at least a moment. Yeah, interesting. So if you do have avoidance in your life, I think you're going to see them going through some turmoil, because an avoidant hasn't evolved. They haven't looked at themselves properly. They think that they might think that they have, but they haven't, because they haven't felt into the depths of the emotions. And April is bringing me into a feeling of need to feel into those feel more into the emotions to clear that, you've got an opportunity to do that as well through April as well. Just like you had in the past, it's coming up again for April too. So they show me waves, and our the way that humanity wakes up isn't a straight line. Oh, I've cleared that. That's it. Over, done with. It's literal waves, and the waves kind of get bigger. And in between, you have a rest and that sort of thing. So if something keeps coming up in these waves, it's literally to show you you haven't quite cleared it, but it's still an opportunity for you to clear it. And we that they're also showing me those that have done the work of the shadow work are really sparking into creation mode, like we were talking about before. And that creation mode is going to set the tone for a big wave of people to come up. The mainstream is not going to be able to hide for much longer. Those that have been really caught in the matrix are not going to be able to hide much longer. It's going to be too much in their face. And so there could be even more disasters coming. And the disaster that comes to the country will be in relation to the mass of the people in that area who have um, either denied their emotions. That means more likely to have something to do with water, a water disaster, denied or become extremely angry. That's more likely to be tornadoes, feeling really unstable in on this physical plane of existence, earthquakes, which we've just had. And I was it Miramara or something that it hit above Thailand or side to Thailand. Um, those people in that country have been dictated to and had a lot of problems. Um, so they're feeling. I think that the people that are there have been feeling very unstable, and so that instability manifests as from a global conscious point of view into a shake-up of all the grounding where little tower moments happen. Yeah, so these disasters that will come in places will be matching the frequency of the collective of that space, and it will give them an opportunity to face their own self and awaken them. Meanwhile, those that are doing the work or have done the work are rising into learning that they're creating their reality. And so they will be able to bring to them the desired outcome that they really wanted. And they literally lift themselves into a position of being guides because they're sitting pretty. They're sitting, with a beautiful life that they really wanted. So they become the guides for those that are still down there struggling in the actual program, like they're literally still in that TV program that we were talking about earlier on. Yeah, so it's pretty powerful stuff that's happening through April. And March is literally a lead up to that understanding. So when you are in April, when you are in a position that you do not like what you are seeing or you want more in your life, s- I would I would literally put my hand next to my heart. I usually hold my selenite sword, but it's packed away and it's in Australia. Literally hold my hand next to my heart and imagine the will of source energy running through your veins, through you, through your DNA. You are that. It is you. And then with that feeling of that power, will whatever you want into your life. And then because you have decided that's an absolute, then let it go, because you don't need to keep repeating it in your brain and mind and all the thoughts. The more that you will something, the less you need to repeat it by your logical mind, the less you need to repeat it, because you've willed it. It is already happening. It is an absolute. And so there is no need for you to go over and over and over. If you're finding yourself going over it and asking for it over and over again, you haven't stood in the essence that I'm talking about. You haven't stood in that absolute, that taking your reins to with your will to create what your path that you want. It's not as easy as, I could say all these things, but, like, to actually be in that, like, it is another thing, right? And I wanna be honest with you guys as well. It is easy when you get it. It is absolutely easy when you get it. It is very much asking that logical brain to really sit back and say, "No, I will take from you the already memories in my brain to say what I want in my reality, but I will not let you dictate to me my worth and how I will this into place. You need to take a back seat to allow me to put it into place and then absolutely let it go, knowing full well you don't even have to think about it anymore. It's an absolute that it's coming to you." This is why things to manifest in your life that are small are easier, because your brain won't keep on going, repeating over and over again. "Oh, I wish I'd find 10 cents on the ground." Like, it's like 10 cents, it doesn't matter. Or, "I wish that I'd find a feather." Like, maybe at the beginning you would have tried that, but it's not something really huge. It's not like life changing. But April is a moment where we can use these ways of manifesting and standing in our willpower to manifest life-changing things. This is why it's important. April is an opportunity to manifest life-changing things in your actual reality. Interesting that I'm actually going to New York at the same time and having all these talks, and this is literally my first step into what I perceived as my I always imagined myself speaking in front of many people, and, I mean, I love it that I've got the Zoom, but I love to be in person because they can tap into my energy as well and really feel my energy too. So to actually stepping into that I set many years ago. And every time I dance, that's another thing maybe you could do to get initiate this. I danced, and when I danced, I felt empowered, and when I felt empowered, whatever makes you feel empowered in that moment, will or see your future for what you really see yourself as, the powerful self that you wanna be. That's gonna help immensely in April. Um, be there, become it, ground it. You are it. This is you, and if you have it within you to be that, there is nothing stopping you but you. And so be it. Just become it and see how the rest of the world reacts to you. Yes, it's changes. Yes, you're going to change. You're going to act different. You're going to seem different to other people, especially those that know you in some respects, but there will be much respect because of the respect that you've gifted yourself for stepping into that power, and you will thrive. You'll start to learn to thrive in this on a grounded way on this planet. Yeah. So that's really cool. Hey, Sky, good to see you. It's okay that you're late. Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually probably going to round it up in a minute. But strong energy for April for manifestations and coming into clarity of oneself or what you really decide you want to be in this world and what you want around you as well. What do you want? Uh, huge. I wouldn't have got that message last night. It's really cool that they gave that to me. It was very fleeting, but I'm I can't even describe it because it was just clarity of a decision, and yet I had no decision. It was the feeling of the clarity of deciding. I can't describe it anything more than that, but I could use that to decide what I really want. So yeah, we're learning to ground our empowerment, our true essence of our soul, more into how we act and seem, to ourselves, how we think about ourselves. Um, yeah. In other words, whoever you're around, you are specifically you. You're not hiding anymore for those that aren't understanding. Um, Not to say that you don't have empathy for those that won't understand you, and so you will. There's an empathic position. You're probably more likely to around those people not to be talking as much if you know that they don't understand you, but still standing in your power of who you are. Interesting. Okay. Miramela, yeah, I'm actually I do readings on Thursday, after the tarot as well. So that's when that happens. I don't do readings on this day as in tarot. So free chat bar readings on Thursday if anyone wants them after the general reading, which I'll see what happens with that one. I was thinking maybe April, look over April with the tarot, but we'll see what else comes up. Yeah, please look out for too. Yin's brought me up to understanding, or Sky has brought me up to understanding that I'm actually a conscious channeler. I knew what I was, but it's actually a label now. There's a label for it. I'm a conscious channeler, and opposed to a trance channeler. And so I'm putting a video together at the moment for you guys to understand what conscious channeling, trance channeling, and even light work talking, light work speaking, light language is all about, and how that actually works. So conscious channeling, I do believe, is more to do with where humanity is actually going, because we're becoming more empathic and more in tuned with more, and our souls path alignment as well with all those that we have, our ancestors and so forth, of our souls lineage as well. Anyway, so yeah, look out for that one. And I did just do a video on what God is about, which I brought up before. We have the New York events down below. Go look at the page on my website if you want to click into that. And I am also an intuitive counselor. If you want a one-on-one session, they're open now. So yeah, if you want to have a reading with me, like a full-on reading, then go click on the link below for the intuitive counseling readings that I do. They can get really, really deep. Okay, until next time, guys. I think I'll leave it here, and love and light to you all. Adios. Bye.